Thank you for joining us this afternoon. This is Texas PACE Authority's monthly T5 webinar, training webinar, the third Thursday at 2 training series. Today, we're going to cover something new and exciting and that many of you have been waiting for, and that is our self-paced service provider training program. We're going to jump into the new training portal on our website and then look at the new training content as well today. So with that, I'm your host and tour guide today. My name is Deb Taylor. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the Texas PACE Authority. Been with TPA almost 3 years. Prior to that, over 2 decades in public service with the State Energy Conservation Office. And then prior to that, in the commercial real estate industry. So altogether, about 3 decades in this general space of managing commercial properties, real estate, and energy efficiency. So for today's webinar, everyone is muted and your video is disabled to preserve bandwidth. At the bottom of the screen or at the top of the screen, depending on how your layout is set up, there is a Q&A and a chat. Please use the Q&A because that way we can record the questions that come in and respond to them either as they come in or by the end of the webinar today. So please use the Q&A and not the chat. Now, we'll keep an eye on the chat too, but prefer the Q&A. As an attendee today, you'll receive the slide deck, and the deck will have the links that you'll see embedded. So that way you can just click on them afterwards to do follow-up as needed. Also, as an attendee today, you'll hear more about this at the end, but we're going to encourage you to dive into the pool here, not put a big toe in, but to try out this testing and to let us know both on the portal, how you register and so forth, and then on the content of the testing as well and the training, what you think is working and where there are problems. So I'll cover that more toward the end, but as an attendee today, you are the first to get to test drive this system, and we really encourage you to do that, and we look for your feedback. The webinar recording is going to be posted on TPA's website and YouTube channel, as all of our T5s are. And if you go to our website, these will all be listed under resources. So over there to the far right, you'll see T5 webinars, and dating back to the first one we did in April of 2020, all the way through the most current last month or the month before. So those are resources. If you are attending today, thank you for doing that. You'll get an opportunity to do live Q&A. But if you have a colleague or some other interested party that may be interested in this training, they have not missed out entirely. They can watch the webinar later at their leisure. So our agenda today, we're going to cover these 4 substantive areas and then have opportunity for Q&A. There should be plenty toward the end. So diving right into it, we always like to do a Texas PACE market update because things are moving quickly. And even if we talked to you a couple of months ago, the numbers have changed and in a very positive way. So overall, in the state of Texas, we now have 82 local PACE programs that we serve. These are cities and counties, some at the city boundaries plus ETJ, some at the county level, which is the entire county. Most recently, Dallas County completed their process to set up their program, and then Hopkins County in Northeast Texas did as well. Sulphur Springs is the county seat, so the entire county there now has a PACE program. Altogether, if you look at the shaded areas plus the smaller dots where the cities are located, this covers 73% of the state's population. So the vast majority of the state of Texas now has PACE available to it. Our role, again, the Texas PACE Authority, we serve the cities and counties that have set up PACE programs. As you can imagine, many wanted to offer PACE, but they did not want to create a new department or bureaucracy to operate the programs. So that's where our organization was formed. We are a nonprofit, 501c3. We were formed exclusively to serve this function of an outsourced governmental PACE program administrator. We have no other business. We don't do financing. We don't do bond advisory. We don't do consulting on energy projects or anything like that. All we do is operate PACE programs for cities and counties. And I always like to think of it as our role as the referee. We're not a player on the field. We don't have a stake in the outcome. Our job is to really referee the transactions to make sure that they are in compliance with state law, with the local PACE program guidelines, and with other technical standards and applicable guidance. And all of this is really a governmental function. So that ties the transaction together. Above the line. Below the line, it's a private transaction, as you may know. An owner will choose a capital provider, will choose a service provider, put the project together, propose it to the PACE program, and if all is in alignment, it all moves forward. So that's our role. PACE by the numbers. To date, over $300 million of PACE investment has closed. This is a record, and the numbers keep going up and to the right. If you look at the chart where I've highlighted 100 million, that is in 2022 alone. When PACE first started back in 2015, there's obviously a learning curve, putting infrastructure in place, getting owners' attention as to how this could be a great resource for them, other contractors, and it is really hockey stick style grown up and to the right here. And so a record year this year, 2022, and we aren't done yet. We have several closings scheduled this week and several more before the end of the year. So this will be a record year by all accounts. The largest PACE project in Texas closed yesterday, $40 million. We closed that. So again, this is really beginning to take off. If you've been in the industry, you've seen this in other states. It has really taken off in Texas now. If you look at where the projects are, commercial and retail, about 30%, hotels, hospitality, commercial office, and nonprofits really make up the biggest wedges. And then about half in energy efficiency, energy conservation projects, about a third in water conservation, 12% distributed generation, mostly rooftop solar for those projects. And rooftop solar has really begun to take off as well. So we're going to jump in now to TPA's new training portal, which is active if you go to our website today. So looking at the website, and if you're familiar with the layout, across the top, there are drop-down menus for different subject areas. So under resources, what you will see now are two things: the training portal with all courses available, and then just above it, training portal registration. So the training portal with all courses, if you click on that, the screen behind it is what you will see today. There's a benchmarking training that's there, a webinar that's recorded and can be viewed. And then there's the new self-paced service provider training that we're going to talk about today that is active as well. So navigating to the training portal is as simple as going to the resources menu, drop down, click on training portal, all courses. Once you've done that, you get these two options. And if you click on the image for self-paced service provider training, which the arrow points to there, it will take you to the next screen. One thing I want to point out here is up and to the right, you'll see two new characters. One is a shopping cart. So if you have clicked on this training, it will put that in your shopping cart. If you have other trainings, or we add other trainings later, you could add multiple to your shopping cart. And as you can see there, there's one showing up. So I've added this already. The little arrow to the left, I think if you go to the website now, it will actually say log in. It won't be the little arrow in the box. And that is an opportunity for you to create a user password so you can access tools and resources that TPA has. I would encourage you to set that up, because that then can sync your information with different registrations and so forth. So this one is not logged in now. You'll see in a minute it will be, and the little character changes. So the courses we have now are these two you see. So the self-paced training, the primary audience for this is service providers. So service providers means primarily contractors, independent third-party reviewers, to some extent, lenders and PACE capital providers, as well as other stakeholders and associated services. While this is really designed to be a sort of a three-set comprehensive training and overview for service providers, It may also be beneficial for lenders, capital providers, attorneys, engineers, and even the owners. The owners many times have questions about how all this works. They can take the training as well. It's not restricted, but really the primary audience are the different service providers. The training modules, there are three. PACE 101, which is kind of the background, how PACE was enabled in the state of Texas, how it's structured, how it works, the benefits to owners, et cetera. The second module, it takes a deeper dive into the technical standards and related guidance that governs project development. And then the third part is the different project steps, how to put a project together with illustrations of different projects that have been assembled in Texas, with pictures, with details, and case studies. At the end of this training, there is a test. It's actually subdivided into these three segments. So there's a mini quiz after the PACE 101, a mini quiz after the technical standards and guidance, and then a mini quiz after the project steps. So if you score a high enough score, 70 or above, then that allows you to be recognized on our website as a trained service provider. We'll also provide you an electronic badge, an e-badge logo for your own website for marketing purposes, so that you can represent that you are a trained service provider. So that's really the outline of the training and the idea behind it. So going into the mechanics of the portal itself, again, this is under training. When you have clicked and you've selected a training and it's in your shopping cart, the next thing is it's going to obviously ask you billing details. There's a $25 charge for this training. And if you have a coupon, which can be a discount code, which I will provide to all of you later, since hopefully you'll be able to beta test this, that will take the 25 to zero. So there's an opportunity there for discounting, and I'll talk about other sort of scholarships for that fee as well. So this is where you register. You'll fill out the fields, you'll scroll down, you'll hit click, and then you'll get an email. Again, under the resources I mentioned, we have scholarships for minority-owned business, women-owned business, and veteran-owned businesses. So if you are one of those categories, you can complete this form, and at the bottom, it will ask you to upload documentation that supports that classification. You then will be provided a code that takes the training from $25 to zero. So that's another option. So if you're in one of those categories, certainly look at that. If you're not in one of those categories, you can go directly to the training portal. So once you've registered, you'll get a series of 3 emails that looks like this. The first one will say your order is complete. Then it's your order has completed. There's 2 of them. One is more the financial side of it. One is our own registration. And then once you've clicked on that course, it'll document that you have enrolled in the course and provide you a link. So you get a series of 3 emails. I was double checking that just this morning and found them all in my spam folder. Not unusual if it's coming from an address that's titled in a certain way. So be sure to check your spam folder if you've registered and you haven't received anything. The first email will look like this. Thanks for shopping with us. This is, again, more the business side transaction that shows that you have paid, or in the case of this one, there's a discount, so the total is 0. The next one is your order has been completed for the training portal. Third is you've now enrolled in the course, and underneath that little in that blue box toward the bottom where it says self-paced service provider training, you can click on that link and it'll take you right to the course. Okay, so that's the training portal and how to access this training. So let's take a look at the training itself and how it's structured. So once you've clicked on that link, or after you've registered, you've gone into the training portal and selected the service provider training, you will see this screen. And it has 2 tabs. One is the overview and one is the curriculum. The overview just gives a description of what the training is. The features tells you what you get from the training, including PDH certificate, et cetera. And then the target audience, if you expand that, will go into the intended audience and beneficiaries for this particular training. As you can see at the top, under the title itself, this is beginner level. So this is an orientation. This is so everyone starts really on the same page. This is not a deep in the weeds technical or engineering training, but it's meant to be really kind of all encompassing and bring everyone up to speed. It says 4 lessons. There actually are 3 lessons. And then afterwards, there is a registration form for a service provider listing, which is why it counted that as 4, and we can't seem to do anything about that. So there's not a 4th lesson. There are 3 lessons, and then there's a registration, and then there are 3 quizzes, one after each of the different segments. So when you click on the curriculum tab, it looks like this. It outlines the 3 different segments. You've got PACE 101 with a video, one of 3 videos. Then you have the training quiz. In this case, module 1 has 6 questions to the training quiz. The second, technical standards and guidance, that's video 2. And then this particular quiz, a few more questions, 11 questions. And then the third module, project steps, the third video, and again, the quiz, and this one has 8 questions. And then once you've completed all that, you can click on the request form, which is for the service provider listing, and there'll be fields that pop up to populate. Up here on the top right in the circle is something to pay attention to. If you have logged in, this will track how much of the training you have completed and what your progress is. So in this case, I had not started the training when I took the screenshot. So no lessons completed, no quizzes completed, and 0% progress. This allows you to go back if you are taking one training, one module, and you've got to go do something else or pick it up on a different day. You can go back and you can continue. When this is live, you will scroll over this continue. I think it lights up in yellow, and then you click on it, it'll take you back to where you were. So no need to allocate an hour and a half to doing this all at one time. You can do it in chunks or tranches. So when you do click on the video, here's what you will see. So that curriculum video 1 of 3, this one is 15 minutes. There are 6 questions afterwards. The second one is 14 minutes with 11 questions. The third one is 19 minutes with 8 questions. So the process is you click on the video. There's a little arrow here that you can't see right now. The video will play. You can pause it. You can blow it up bigger. You can move back and forth if something is said and you missed it. You can go back and forth. Once you watch the video, you hit complete. Then you can go over here and you can click the training quiz. And the same process for each of these. The training quiz then looks like this once you've completed it. This first one had 6 questions, and you had to get 70%. I took this quiz. I wrote the quiz, so I'm happy to say that I got 100%. It took me 2 minutes to take the quiz. I got 24 out of 24 points, 6 out of 6 questions. The timing here, there's no time limit. That's just a little counter clock that's built in, so you don't have like 10 minutes to take the test. It's however long you need to take the test. Again, like the videos, if you need to come back to the test at some point, it shouldn't take that long, the quiz, but you have the opportunity to go back and finish it if you can't complete it in one sitting. So that works the same way for each of the 3 modules. So module 2, again, technical standards and guidance, which is the deeper dive, really kind of on the nuts and bolts of the project requirements and the program requirements. In module 3, the different project steps, moving from sort of initial scoping all the way through to closing, with examples of case studies at the end. As I mentioned earlier, once you've logged in, as you can see here, there's now that little, the login converts to a person. And then up at the top, there's a black bar that says howdy in your name. If you see that black bar, it means you're logged in. Also, if that is a person, not login, you're logged in. So that's a way to check to see if you're logged in. Oftentimes, you might move to a different application or something and close out and wonder, hey, why isn't this working? Check first to see if you're logged in and if this black bar is here. And if there's a person not log in, and that's probably the issue. So again, you can go back and complete as much as you need when you can do it. After I completed the quiz, you can see here I sort of jumped ahead. I wanted to make sure the quiz was accurate, so I didn't complete the full video, but I did complete 1 out of 3 quizzes, so 33% complete with the course. All in all, if you watch the videos and take the quizzes, it probably is a total of no more than an hour-and-a-half commitment, time commitment. So that can be done in one sitting, or again, you can break it into chunks if that's easier. The very last thing is, as you have moved through and you've watched the videos and you've done the tests, the very last thing you'll see is fill out request form. When you click on that, it pops up this form. It'll also say at the top, 7 out of 7 items completed. If you've completed them all, that gives you access to this form. You fill out all the information, and that then sends it to us to validate with the training, and we will list you or update your listing on a service provider listing as a trained service provider. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about beta testing. As with any new program or tool, the creators and the users, the sponsors, if you will, do everything we can to debug and test it and break it and figure out what's going to work and what's not working. And we certainly have found things, and those have been fixed, but we know we haven't found them all. And we know that users that are using this system for the first time will find them. And so we encourage you to register, enroll, and beta test this training. If you do that, 2 benefits. One, if you make it through the training and you pass the tests with 70% or greater, you will have done the training. You'll be registered, you'll be certified that way, and it won't cost you anything, $25, because using this code, beta test, which is good through the end of the month, enter that coupon code, and that will discount the $25 to 0. So you can get trained for free, and you can help us identify any bugs along the way. If you find things or you run into any problems or barriers or brick walls, send us an email, admin@texaspaceauthority.org. We welcome all your feedback and all your input. We want to make this better. It's a newly launched tool, so we know it's not perfect, and everything can always be made better. So we welcome your feedback there. We also will be, went too fast, producing a step-by-step user guide. So that's really all the things I've said will be captured in sort of a step-by-step. Here's how to register, here's how to log in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's in development right now. We will take any input you have in your experience in working with this, with the training portal and with the testing and the curriculum, and we will incorporate that in the user guide because, again, we want to make this as user-friendly and intuitive as possible. And the training itself, whether it's the portal or whether it's the content, we want it to be intuitive and as relevant to your business involving PACE as possible. Everything can always be improved if after taking the training, you say, wait a minute, I was expecting to learn this, but I didn't, or I thought this would be covered and it wasn't, or this wasn't made as clear as it could be. Let us know. We plan to continually review and update the training, optimize it, make it better, take user input, and make it as, again, relevant, intuitive, and useful as possible. So we want all the input we can have. With that, questions, and I will see if we have any. I don't see any questions popping up yet, but if you have any, please enter them in the Q&A box. And we'll hold it open for a little bit. This was a shorter webinar than we usually do, but we'll give you half an hour of your afternoon back if no immediate questions pop up. Okay, not seeing any. So again, just for your reference, the discount code beta test right here, this is valid till the end of the month. please go to our training portal. Please enroll for this training. Please test drive it, and please give us your input. We really do want that. And with that, we will end the webinar today a little bit early. And we thank for your attention, your registration, your participation, and look for our next webinar next month, where we'll be discussing the newly revised 179D tax credits authorized at the federal level that come into play for energy efficiency projects for commercial buildings. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.